Hey everybody, welcome to Lessons Learned, the podcast where we aim to turn our experiences into your wisdom. I'm Randy, here today with Chris, Jared, Joe, and Talon. We're all really excited to be here today because this is episode 1. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Chris. Chris, go ahead.
What's up, guys? It's been a real crazy year, hasn't it? So we all decided to do this podcast and try and, give our life lessons from not only just this year, but all of our lives so far, and try and help those who are a little bit lost in life and need some, lessons learned. Said it. So this episode is going to start out by giving us giving you guys a little bit of an intro of ourselves, just like a little bit of background, and then we're going to go ahead and say our biggest lessons learned thus far in our lives. So with that, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Jared, and he'll give you a little bit of background and his biggest life lesson.
Yeah. First episode, man. I'm so excited. So I have to talk about myself. Let's see. I'm 25 years old. My name is Jared Rumsey. I grew up in Ohio. I'm the youngest of 7 siblings. And I moved to Nebraska to join the military and everything when I was 18 years old, a month out of high school. So now I'm living here, and I've been doing this for 6 years now. And I'm enjoying it, and I met all these dudes. That's pretty much everything about me. And yeah, there's not much. How about Talon? What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm Talon. I'm 23. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I joined the Air Force immediately out of high school at age of 18. This is where I met Chris and Jared, and then from Chris mainly, I met Joe and Randy, and I am studying computer engineering, and I joined this podcast because I feel like there's a lot of things that people learn throughout their lives, but they don't really share them, and people when they're younger, they're just kind of lost, and I don't see why people shouldn't share the knowledge that they learn through life.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. So I'll pass it on to Joe then.
Ooh, me next. Okay. So, how's it going, everyone? My name is Jerry. I'm actually Chris's brother. I was born and raised in northern New Jersey. We both moved here to Delaware when I was in middle school and Chris was actually in high school. I ended up going to... I ended up going to college here. And right after that, I got my associate's degree and joined the military as well. And Chris had already joined a few years prior to me, even though it was my idea first, by the way. But I ended up meeting the rest of these guys through Chris. And, I joined the others with Lessons Learned because not only did I think it would be fun, I also wanted to help those getting out of high school or college with just general life. I want to give advice to people so they can learn my experience and prepare themselves for what life has to throw at them. So, that's me. Who wants to go next?
Hey, were you
no,
reading
not
from
at all.
a
Why
script?
would you say that?
He's nervous,
Just
okay?
Not,
I mean,
Why
it's
would
okay, bro.
why would I read
You
from a
do you.
script?
You do you.
Just maybe.
I mean, good intro, dog. Good intro.
Sick.
Nailed it.
Fucking nailed
All right,
it.
Randy, why don't you go ahead and kick it off, homie?
All right, so I was born and raised in New Jersey as well. Still live here. I grew up with Chris and Joe up until around the time that they moved to Delaware. Baseball is a big part of my life. We'll talk about that a lot as we go through this podcast, and it kind of shaped who I am. As for school, I didn't, as like the rest of these guys did, I didn't join the military. I went to school. I went to play baseball in school. I started a civil engineering major and then ended up transferring and becoming a exercise science major. So I'm kind of here. I'm 27 years old, and I'm just kind of the big reason I joined this podcast is I'm trying to find myself and kind of would like to help others do the same because I'm really not where I thought I would be at this point in my life. So, yeah, I think it'll be really beneficial for me as well as other people. And then Chris, why don't you finish us off, buddy?
Yeah, that leaves me. Sexual innuendo left out on purpose.
Yeah, basically.
So, yeah, guys, I'm Chris, also from New Jersey. So me, Randy, and Joe all pretty much grew up together. And like we said, I'm Joe's brother, older brother. I am 26, moved to Delaware, went to University of Delaware for 2 years, and then joined the Air Force. I've been in for a little bit and just re-enlisted. I don't know if it's unfortunately or not yet. We'll find out. But that's kind of the whole purpose of this podcast, is to see where life takes you. You know, you never really know. So I might re-enlist again. I might not. Who knows? So that's basically us. And so I noticed I said we would all list our life lessons.
None of us
during
did
these
that.
intros,
We're
and
all
that
very
happened.
dumb.
Right.
Jeez.
So
Just went over my head.
A1 first epi.
Good start.
So all right, let's go back. Jared, go ahead. Life lesson numero uno.
Oh, jeez. I get to start it off. Okay. Biggest life lesson. So
Don't be big dumb.
I'm gonna try. I'll try
Nailed
not
it.
to. I'll try to sound
That's
very
your
intellectual.
lesson.
Don't be dumb.
Well, I failed. I failed horribly. Okay, so biggest life
God, we
lesson.
suck.
This one was hard. When you guys brought it up, a bunch of different things popped into my head. Like, I'm not even gonna go into it. But the one thing that kind of was like a recurring theme that I noticed was when I was younger, I was very, I don't know the word for it. I would conform to society around me. And it wasn't until I started to look at all of the lessons that I learned in my life, like my divorce or buying a brand new car when I was 18, and I don't know, just pretty much everything I did from like 18 and 19 to 20.
So go ahead. So what's your take from that? What's your biggest life lesson? Is, just do your own thing and don't worry about what people think?
Yeah, so just don't conform, basically. Going on.
Okay, cool. No, all right. Who went next? Talon, is that you?
Yeah, I'll
Elon
go.
Musk.
So my biggest life lesson would be to experience the world and to experience other cultures, other locations, whatever it might be, because I feel like early on in people's lives, they kind of get tunnel vision of just what's going on immediately around them, whether it be from like their family, from their hometown, whatever. And I think that their tunnel vision kind of goes away once they get out to the world and they start seeing what else is out there and what other people experience and how their lives might be, and then they can start adding certain aspects of like other people's lives from that they notice from around the world. They can add those aspects to themselves. That's
Right, so just being overall cultured and smart, I guess you would say.
yeah, exactly. Being
Being
able
smart.
to like accept other life practices and being able to adopt those if need be. Just being able to understand more things other than just like what you grew up with.
Right, and we'll definitely talk about a lot of that throughout this podcast, and because it's all about growth and how to become a better self. So that'll for sure come up. It kind of goes hand in hand with just being open-minded. So I like that.
Is good. Joey,
All right,
let's hear it.
yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Cool. Yep, it would be me next. So, my biggest I've learned in life is, one of my favorite sayings is to just send it. To be honest with you, it's honestly more so like to not leave anything in life to regret, which is I think a big thing, because one of the worst things that you could do is look back at yourself and be like, wow, I wish I had or had not done something. And then it's often than not have not doing something. So, if there's any risk that you want to take, anything that you think that you would want to do in life, it's just for it. So, Randy, on to you.
Fucking send it. All right. Well, I would say my biggest life lesson would be to not put all of your eggs in one basket. The reason I say this was because as a kid and growing up and through high school and even into college, I was so sure that I was going to be a professional baseball player that I didn't really care about anything else that went on around me. Like, I didn't really care what happened in school. I didn't care what happened with, relationships and friendships, because I was so positive that I was going to have this thing where I was going to, be paid millions of dollars to play a game. And then when it kind of hit me that wasn't going to pan out, I was like, holy shit, I don't know what to do. I am in a major I don't really like. I'm in a school I don't really like. I have no backup plan. I don't know what I'm going to do. And even when I kind of figured out what direction I wanted to go, I still, even to this day, am not exactly sure what I want to do. And I really like think back to, growing up, and, it's always great to have goals and always great to have big ambitions and everything. And I would never discourage that, but especially when your goals are as big as mine, where you always have to realize that you need a backup plan. You need a different way out in case that doesn't work, because, it doesn't always. And that's why that would be my biggest lesson, just because I feel like it's really affected me the last, 10 years of my life. And now I'm kind of trying to figure out where to go from here.
Yeah, that's a big, anyone in their 20s, and, I used to think it was only in your 20s, and as I'm nearing 30 now, it's kind of prevalent. I guess prevalent's not the word. I tried sounding smart for a second, didn't work. But I get, no. Anyway, it seems to me that it's just going to be throughout the rest of your life, like it's never really going to end, because you're never going to be exactly where you thought you would be, no matter what it is. Yeah, it's great to have those big goals like you mentioned. However, like just going with the flow sometimes is very important, and I feel like we've all done that, especially with the military. Like, we don't get to choose where we go or what our lives consist of, really. So it's important to be able to just go with the flow like that and have that backup plan, like you were saying. So,
Joe, about not being able to pick where you get to go. Right?
Yeah, Mr.
Yes,
joins
sir.
the Air
I know
Force,
all
gets
about
stationed
that.
Back home. Damn.
Oh my gosh, 15 minutes away from my parents' house, in a job that I never wanted to do. Yeah, I'm making the best of it, though.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't
F's in the
accept
chat
it
for
is.
Joe.
Rip.
So anyway, I'll get ahead into my biggest life lesson, a little more serious, is to
Super serial.
definitely appreciate the little things in life, because you take them for granted more than you ever even think about. Like, for example, just on deployments, I know a lot of my talking is going to be about military experiences. So on deployments, just having a bathroom next to you instead of having to walk like a half mile to go use one, just a huge thing we take for granted here at home. And like stuff like even on our nice cush deployments, right? We're in some nice places,
OG Kush.
and there's great food around. However, we don't have a kitchen. Something as simple as just having your own kitchen to be able to cook for yourself, it's so difficult sometimes. And it's just little things like that really affect you. And like you understand, like when you can't wait to get back home just so you can cook for yourself. And that doesn't matter if it's like a 2-week little TDY thing, which is like a temporary deployment for all our non-military folk, but or it's like a 4-monther, it doesn't really matter how long it is. As soon as you don't have it, you realize like, oh shit, I wish I had that.
Or like a
So
car.
I think that's a really
Yeah.
when you
yeah,
deploy.
even just a car, like somehow to get around, like it's a big thing.
Or just general freedom of being able to go where you want to go.
So yeah, it's important, like just the little things. It's you take them for granted, and like I said, you just don't realize that till it's gone. And that we talked about not having a car, or even just being on the same time zone as somebody, like a loved one, or even just friends or family. Just being on that same time zone to be able to talk to them. Oh God, it's incredible, and you miss it a lot when you're
And your
when you're
pets too, man. I miss my dog so much when I'm gone.
Yeah.
Kristen missed her 5 minutes ago.
away. Yeah, for those of you who don't get that joke, we cut out a large barking segment of our podcast.
Dang.
It was a dog.
Lola's an aggressive pupper. I'm kidding.
All right, so Jared, let's dive a little deeper into yours. Let's get we kind
we're
of
being
dicked
dicks.
around and
Bro, I
messed
can't look at
messed
you
your
guys.
flow up a little bit. All right, cool. So let's dive a little deeper and redeem yourself a little bit.
Okay,
Here.
so what I was getting at is I was young and dumb. I was 18, 19 years old, and I bought a brand new car because that's what everyone was doing in the military. Like, everyone who gets in, they buy brand new cars, brand new Mustangs, whatever. So I did that. So stupid. The car was way overvalued or overpriced. And then guess what else I did? I also got married too. Just so my
Attaboy.
At 18? What age you get married at?
18. At 18.
Oh my God.
So probably two of my biggest life mistakes was when I was 18 years old. Yeah. Not that it was like some people get married at a young age and it's right for them, but I did it just because I was conforming to what everyone was doing around me. Like, that's the thing to do.
Right.
You marry your high school sweetheart. That's what everyone talked about in basic. So
Yeah, and then they're all divorced by like 24.
If they don't break
exactly.
up while
Or
they're
a
there.
year
Or in your
later.
case, like what? Yeah, your case 19.
Yeah, so I got married as well, and then a year later, I had like $20 to my name because I was overpaying for everything, and I was on a salary pay, and I was getting paid so much. Well, for what I was used to, I worked at a pizzeria before, making like $7.40 an hour, and so I was spending all this money. I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't pay my bills. I literally had $20 to my name, and I was divorced. And I'm just like, what am I doing, man? And it wasn't until like 3 years ago that I actually looked back and just pieced together why all of that happened. And it's just because I saw what everyone was doing around me, and I decided to do the same thing. And I was not independent whatsoever. I was codependent, and I just had a bunch of problems, and I was broke. And yeah, it's just because conformity killed.
So
My
would your
advice
advice be like,
Go check out that Mark Groves on Instagram, man. He's got a course on codependency. Shout out to Create the
Wow.
Love.
Oh yeah,
I hate you.
dude. That's a great page. No, seriously, that's an awesome page.
It's helped me through a lot recently.
I showed it to
honestly,
Chris,
following that
and-
man. Yeah,
We
So
send each
would
other
you-
posts.
that guy
would your advice be
speaks
like,
wisdom, man.
think for yourself?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, so just do what you want, like do what you think is right. Don't do what everyone is pressuring you to do, and what society's pressuring you to do,
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think a big problem that a lot of young people have today is they really don't have the ability to think for themselves. And it maybe it's not even so much that, but it's like you said, they're so they just want to follow what society wants them to do so bad that they kind of just like fall into this, like conformist rut, I guess. And like maybe that's great for some people, but not for everybody. And you just got to
right.
figure
And
out
I've
what's
talked
good for you.
to like I'm not where I thought I would be in life. I thought I'd be married and having a kid somewhat soon, if not on the way already. I'm 26, and like now that I'm thinking about it, man, I'm glad that's not the case because I'm still young, And I see people who've gotten married and divorced already, not just Jared, a bunch of people, both in and out of the
I knocked that
military.
out
Like
early.
it doesn't really matter. Yeah, good job. A+. Yeah, exactly.
What's a girlfriend?
So anyway, yeah, it's just very important to not compare yourself to those around you. Like you're on your own path, and this message has been shared a lot throughout our generation recently. I feel like it's a very big theme because people are getting married later.
And with social media,
they're not having kids.
like
Yeah.
everyone's on social media now, so you see it everywhere. You see everyone posting their highlight reels and their lives, everything good that's happening in their lives, and you can't help but compare yourself to it.
Right, and behind closed doors,
Social media
behind
is
closed
cancer.
doors, like you don't see all the fights and arguments that's going on, the struggles financially, maybe, like you only see the good stuff in that life, and that's what you judge your life based off of, and it's just not healthy.
Yeah, like Jared said, it's the highlight reels. Like you if you see stuff like that, it's like, oh yeah, this person's super happy. It's all the good moments in their life, and that's absolutely it. You don't get to see everything that's going on behind the scene.
It's a facade.
Yep, it's just to please the other
You're
people.
a facade.
Yep.
Your beard is a facade.
Oh yeah, it
His
is.
beard's glorious.
Fuck yeah, it's a facade.
For when we do a little bit of YouTube clips and some videos in the future, y'all get to see Randy's glorious
Hell
beard.
yeah, you will.
facade.
Mr. Dictionary.
Oh,
It's
for Christ's
it's-
sake. Oh my god.
facade.
It's not
Facade.
sod.
It's such a fun word.
All right, so Talon. So I know we're gonna be doing some future episodes on this topic. Not necessarily on this topic, but it'll flow in with some other ones. I think yours is very important, especially for us being in the military. We have traveled, minus Joe being sent right back home. Rip.
Big rips. F's in the chat.
I
yeah,
got to travel for
we've-
4 months.
Yeah, well, to like 2 different states. Congrats.
Yeah, South Carolina.
However, like
nice.
leaving the country, you know, and seeing these other cultures, you learn how much we can grow as a country. And we're not going to get into politics or anything with that with this podcast. It's just important to, you know, be open-minded. And for instance, just like this mask thing, Japan's been doing it for as long as I can remember. Probably, I don't know, way before any of us were born.
Yeah.
But it's just something like that. Like, they've already been doing it. So, like, us as Americans, we see it, and it's like, oh, it's weird, but it's not. It's just being open-minded and, like, realizing other countries do different things, and some things they do better than us, and some things we do better than them. So
yeah, exactly. That's a good example because, like, for us, with all this going on, stuff like the mask thing, to us, it seems super alien and it's really weird. But if you're someone that has already seen it in places like Japan and a lot of other Asian countries, you're just like, oh wait, we're just doing what they've been doing for decades. Like, it's not that weird. It's easier to adopt because
Right.
you already understand like the benefits of it and everything like that, because you're just trying to help the health of general society. You're just trying to be a good person to everyone else.
Mhm.
right, yeah, we have a lot to learn as a country, in my opinion, throughout all of our travels. I everywhere I've been, I've taken something good and been like, wow, why don't we do that here at home? You know, but I'm also over there missing home, so it's kind of like a catch-22.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for those catch-22s.
Yep.
Hey yo.
Did you guys watch that show on
About
Hulu?
you.
It's great.
I'm feeling 22.
That was the reference, dog. You're a little tardy to the party on that
Well,
one.
no, great show. No, that's what I'm saying though. Great show. If you haven't watched it, Catch
Yeah.
22
Oh,
on Hulu. Everybody, watch that shit. It is great.
Yeah, I read the book. You don't have to read the book. The book's really confusing.
Don't read the book. Just watch the show. Reading.
Yeah, here on this
I don't
podcast,
know how to
we don't
read,
promote
so I have
reading.
to watch the show.
No, dude, I watched the show twice, and that book is still so confusing.
Right? Fucking A.
All right, get back on track a little bit, boys. I'm the moderator here today, I guess.
Oh my god.
Joey,
listen to this fucking
let's dive
guy.
deep into yours. Let's go ahead and explain your.
Don't break it
lesson.
on jerking yourself off.
Oh, it is. It's Joe. All right, so my biggest lesson learned was not leaving anything to regret, and just sending it sometimes, and that's honestly what it is. Very
What are you,
simple,
silly?
but
I'm
very
still gonna
important
send
in
it.
life. To be
No
honest with you.
regrets.
No regrets.
Not just- no regrets.
Not even a letter.
Hey man,
So yeah, so that
No.
applies to Jared, as we've, kind of made
J-Rad.
obvious.
Exactly.
He's had some regrets,
Jared
but
kinda just
maybe
sent it.
maybe in the moment he was like, I'm just gonna send it, and now he kind
He
of
sent it a little too hard there, bud.
You sent it too much.
Give your balls a tug.
Are we talking
So-
about my ankle? I don't know what we're talking. I'm just being attacked.
No, we're talking about your.
I don't think we're talking
Yeah,
about
you
your
are.
ankle.
what?
Yeah, nothing to do with your ankle. We don't even know about your ankle.
Oh yeah.
However,
What's an
Joe,
ankle?
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
but you got to look at the silver lining. Is that if Jared, didn't dive in and send it, he wouldn't have learned from his mistakes. I mean, there's nobody's perfect, and like our goal here is to just help people through life, and learning from your mistakes is probably the biggest teacher that you can have for yourself.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've learned so much from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that everything happens for a reason, and you always have to find what that reason is. Like, you can lose, I don't know, like, again, Jared got married to the wrong person, went through a divorce, but it happened for a reason. He learned pretty much what he did and did not want as a
I learned
spouse.
so much.
And exactly, and now he's able to pass that down to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right.
kind of getting back into it, though. Sorry, did you want to say
Oh
something?
yeah, I was just gonna say that's kind of like falls into like the no regret part of it. Is like, yeah, it happens, but at the end of the day, he moved on, he learned from it, and he continued. He didn't he didn't just delve into his mind, just like beat himself up over it. It's like
Yeah.
no regrets in the end.
Well, I mean, I
You
did
moved
for a
on.
little bit, but
I mean,
I
yeah,
moved on eventually.
it
Exactly.
didn't last forever though.
No.
That's a natural part.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's what's important is how you cultivate that into moving forward and learning and not doing it
Cultivate.
again.
Yeah.
See, I did sound smart on that one. That was a big word, and I'm proud of
That was
myself.
There
Good.
you go.
It won't
First
last
try.
long.
Cultivating
Nah.
your mind.
All right,
Words
there,
are
Jared.
hard.
You got a book for us to read or what?
A book.
Yeah.
Just listen to Earl Nightingale, bro.
oh yeah.
That's it.
That's his go-to.
Hey, man.
It's gonna be every podcast.
That was money.
Dude, it's just these last couple of weeks I've really gotten into his content, and
He's good.
yeah, he has good.
You
stuff.
can't argue with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Randy, let's talk about yours a little
All right.
bit.
Well, I mean, I know I dove pretty deep into mine when I talked about it initially, but I would say
Give us why don't you give us like something applicable, like how it affected you, or like anything you used it with in your life so far.
well, how it affected me, I would say, is that I'm kind of in a place now because of it where, I'm 27 years old. Again, as I said, I'm not really where I thought I would be in life. Like, I still live at home. I thought I would kind of be more on track, like, having a girlfriend or a wife or, maybe having a kid on the way. And now here I am. I'm not even out of my childhood home. And I think a lot of it is because I was so focused on one thing and such like I don't want to say unobtainable goal, but just like a very difficultly obtainable
Is that a word?
goal that
Yeah,
Probably not.
lofty's better.
Goal, for sure.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, lofty. Now Jared sounds smart. Here we go.
For once.
So yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of the decisions I made, when I was 17 and 18 are now like affecting me at 27, where I'm like in a job that's not really going anywhere. And, I'm kind of, I almost feel stuck in a way. And I think, like my advice on this topic would be like, number one, always have a backup plan. And never assume that things are going to work out as planned. Because again, I was so positive, and I would never discourage anybody to be confident. Always be confident, always be a little bit cocky, but at the same time, you do have to be humble and realize, that a lot of times there are people who are better
Right.
than you at something. And
That's one of those things Chris has to work on, is remaining humble.
yeah, Chris is a kind of a piece of shit.
Wow. All right. Damn.
Damn.
Yeah,
Went
Mr.
right at me
Moderator.
on that one.
Ooh.
Holy
Roasted.
shit.
Uh,
Guess I'll die.
Boom, roasted. I was waiting.
But no, like it's
for that to come
important
back
because this also ties
Um,
into what we were talking about before, is just not judging yourself compared to others, like just because you're in your childhood home, who cares? You're still figuring out life, you're still moving forward. I mean, you just got back from a pretty cool trip to Colorado and you
Right.
haven't been there before, and that's
I did.
we could tie Talon's
That was awesome.
topic into this as well. Like you went to a new place, you experienced this new experience, I guess, and you really loved it and you didn't want to come back. Now, moving forward, what you can do is, start
did
applying
not.
for jobs out there, start looking to excel in your life and, like get out on your own. Like there's no timeline, like you do you, but like you just can't compare it to others.
Yeah. No, I agree 100% with that. You definitely can't compare yourself to others. That's a big part of it. I'm thinking more intrinsically though, as we go forward with this and just like on this topic, just to say, like, again, always having a backup plan, never assuming that things are going to work out for you the way that you planned that they would. Because, I mean, in life, things never, like, one thing I will talk about real quick that I learned as a civil engineering major, we had to do a project once where we went and talked to, like, a project manager on a job site. And, we had like a list of questions that we were supposed to ask these guys and everything. And I started asking the guy the questions, and after like 2 or 3, the guy goes, "Are these all the questions like that they kind of told you to ask that were in the book?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, see, here's the thing." He goes, on a construction site, things are never going to go exactly as planned. You're always going to have a plan, but you're always going to have to try and figure it out as you go. There's always going to be setbacks. There's always going to be delays. There's always going to be things that go wrong. There's going to be things that go right. But I think that's also advice that you can just apply to life in general, because the same thing happens. Like you can have a plan, you can have everything planned out exactly how you want it to go, and it just doesn't necessarily work out that way. So you kind of just have to be able to have the ability to deal with that, but you also have to be able to have, backups and contingencies so that when things don't go right, you're not like,
Right.
okay, I'm just stuck now.
That's the stability of being able to adapt and
Yeah.
bounce back when life throws roadblocks at you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of those things that I wanted to talk about a lot throughout this podcast actually is adaptability. It's one of my biggest personality traits that I think each person should have, is just being able to adapt on the fly. And honestly, it's going with the flow and like learning. Obviously, as you said, nothing is always going to go the way that you plan it to go, and you have to be able to either have a backup plan, or if
adapting
not,
and still striving for that end goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Is very important.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, and again, I never would say that I would discourage people from having big goals. Going back and like, I've talked about this with other people, and like, and we'll talk about this more as we go forward with different episodes, but I missed out, I would say, on a lot of things because of baseball and because of, how I thought that, it was going to go for me, but I wouldn't necessarily change that. Like I like what I did early on in my life. But at the same time, like, again, it's as Jared said, a lofty goal. And when you have lofty goals, that's fine. Always shoot for the stars, or what do they say? Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you land.
Sure,
in the
you
stars.
said it. I'll take it.
I'm all for that. Yeah, I could be totally wrong. We're all very dumb, so this.
Well, apparently I'm just an asshole. Or a piece of shit, whatever you said. So
you are an asshole and a piece
Sick.
of shit.
Big facts.
We
Big
accept
facts, but we love you. But oh my god. But yeah, so what was that, Joe? Cheers.
No, I was
Cheers.
leaving it off at big facts.
Big facts.
Cheers.
Cheers. We have each other on video, so we're
Y'all are
drinking.
ridiculous. So I guess I don't want to talk too much here,
We
but
are
I'd like
ridiculous.
to dive into mine a
Yeesh.
little bit and kind of speak on
Do it.
how I go throughout life knowing to appreciate these little things that I mentioned. And, sometimes it's just about getting out of that, you're in that daily routine, you get stressed, you have that same routine in the morning, you go to work, you come back, you work out, whatever, and you just go. And I think it's important to just every now and then take a step back and just look around you and just be thankful for what you have in front of you. That's something I struggle with a lot, is being able to just be content where I am. And Joey knows this a lot, being my brother, and I think Jared and Talon have learned this as well, and Randy's my oldest friend, so he also knows this. But like, for example, I'm home in Delaware right now with Joe, under circumstances like I didn't want. We'll talk about that in the future episodes. But I had a vacation planned, and I was really excited to come home because I was stuck in Nebraska for a few months without the opportunity to even leave. And now that I left and I'm here, all I want to do is go back. And that's like, I need to just step back and just be thankful for where I am right now in life and appreciate the little things. And like, even just speaking this out loud right now, I've noticed like I need to do that.
He doesn't love me because I called him an asshole.
Yeah, you need to appreciate the things that you have in your life. You don't need to worry about the things that you don't have. There's no reason to stress about anything like that. Just
right. Yeah,
be
I was,
happy with where
like
you're
I was
at.
so excited to go to the
Yeah.
mountains and go hiking, and like I'm still going to. When Jared gets out here, Jared's actually joining me out here in a few days. Yeah.
next week.
Awesome. Ooh, how cute. You
Yeah.
guys are
How's
going
your
on a
ankle?
couples vacation. Ooh.
I'm
Oh.
going too.
You're the
Oh,
third
he's
wheel,
going.
though.
He's
Are you
joining
coming,
our
Randy?
buddy's wedding down here, and then maybe
Yeah.
joining us on a few hikes.
I'm gonna
so
try
we'll see Randy.
to. Yeah.
So it's actually kind of funny because, well, let me get to my point first. Is I was excited to do all these hikes, and I'm stuck in Delaware for the reasons I'm home right now, and like I took a step back yesterday. I thought to myself, like even though it's raining, the beach is like 45 minutes away, so I'm just gonna go to the beach, have a good time, and I'm into photography, so I took some cool pictures of the ocean, some cool lighthouses, and then me and my friend just went out and grabbed some lunch. And, it was a really good reset mentally, and I really needed that, especially everything we've been going through recently. This year has just been kind of shit for everybody. So,
You were on the beach looking big fat. I saw many
wow.
Snapchats
See, I got
from
compliments
Greg.
saying I put on some muscle, but I'm the asshole. Okay.
Your biceps are looking bigger, man.
It's
I lost 5 more
What? I don't
pounds
give
while
a
I was in
shit,
Colorado.
Did you really?
But anyway, so yeah.
I did.
Hey, good for you, Randy.
So another thing about this podcast that not necessarily should have been included in the intros. However, like we're all scattered throughout the country. So right now I'm actually in my brother's house. Me and Joey are home together in Delaware. Randy's in Jersey, and then Talon and Jared are in Nebraska. So it's kind of interesting. So in a few days, Randy's going to be coming down for our buddy's wedding. So that'll be me, Randy, and Joe all in one spot.
Don't tell anybody at my
Right,
job
well.
that, though.
Yeah.
Hope they don't listen.
Don't let him listen.
Oh, also, let's specify. Chris is at Joe's house. Actually, he's in Joe's closet.
Yeah, I am in Joe's closet. Best acoustics around.
That was not supposed to be mentioned. Okay.
I was just standing here, and Chris
Yeah,
locked himself in the closet.
Back in Nebraska, we have a pretty decent studio set up in Talon's basement. But
Oh yeah.
however,
Studio.
it looks legit. We've soundproofed it. It's really good, and like I'm proud of our accomplishments there.
He's taking mad
will
pics.
I mean,
We're gonna take a
guys,
picture
just
later.
follow our Instagram.
Picture
and you'll
didn't
see all these
happen.
photos that I take of it. So
yeah.
What are we at?
yep,
Lessons learned.
we'll mention
Media?
it here on the outro too, so y'all don't
Instagram at
forget.
Lessons Learned Media.
It'll be links in the description. Jared, I'm stealing your thunder.
Bro, that's
Yo,
my
chill.
line.
This is the first
Too
episode,
early.
man. You can't spoil it for the people. But yeah, so it's kind of
Nerds.
interesting as to see like where life takes us. Randy joined us in Nebraska last week on his way out to Colorado. So we had 4 people all in Nebraska while
did.
Joey was still in Delaware, and it's kind of interesting. Like we're all such good friends.
In my
Yeah,
closet.
in his closet. We're all such good friends, and we've been traveling
By the
around
way, I
the
have
country
2
together
closets.
and bringing our stuff. And I think this podcast was a great way to help kill some time during this whole pandemic, and it's very beneficial for not only us but hopefully everyone that listens to it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna bring value
Yeah.
to, at least a couple people.
I would hope more than a
Absolutely.
couple people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hundreds,
I
thousands.
mean,
Of the
I mean,
people.
it helps the 5 of us
All
here.
of the people.
We get to talk about all of our
It's
all
true.
of
I
our
would-
issues
We'll
and
talk
everything,
about our problems.
or each other's therapists. Yep.
I would just say, as long as everybody looks past the fact that we're really dumb.
Are we really though? I mean, we have a combined maybe like 7 brain cells.
Well, I mean, I've drank probably a third of a bottle of whiskey since we started this, so if I had 3 brain cells, they're all gone.
Only 3.
That's you'll be
I
you'll be
probably
all right.
only
kid,
had
no
3 to
worries
begin
there.
with.
I'm only 2 Michelobs in. It's not
Yeah,
enough.
I'm not drinking, so maybe
Michelob
once again
Ultra
I'm the
Tuscan
asshole not
Orange
drinking and
Grapefruit.
trying to keep us on topic as y'all keep straying away. But it's cool. I'm the asshole.
As I was. Yes, you are. No, you're just the
No.
non-humble dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, appreciating the
Oh,
little
well,
things.
actually, I wanted to add something to that. So Chris, actually, like 6 months ago, you joined me out in a deployment, and for me, it was the very end of the deployment, and I was ready to go home.
Yeah, man.
And it was refreshing, one, to actually have you out there because it was someone new to talk to. But like the little things, such as us watching Hallmark Christmas movies, no matter like how annoyed I was
so
from
cute.
like flying or from life's just stressors, it's like at 7:00 every single night,
Dude.
Chris and I, we could just get together and we could just watch the cheesiest Christmas movies.
But
ever.
guess what?
And
That's
it was
adorable.
it was the
We
greatest
felt
thing.
great afterwards. It was phenomenal.
I love
Yeah.
that story.
They're just feel-good
by the way,
movies.
as much as I fucking hate Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a little too masculine with the beard and everything. We
Yeah.
get it. But, me and Talon are comfortable. We don't let people judge us. We don't care about society. Jared's topic. See how I'm tying it all in? Nice, right?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
We're also in Japan. So, heyo, Talon
And
topic,
you sent
different
it, by the
country.
way.
What up?
What
But
up?
Oh, what up?
But yeah, it's awesome. Like the little things like that, because I was in a bad place mentally. It's that started in what? Freaking November, December, man. Like, it's been a rough year.
Yeah.
But yeah, just something like as simple as that, just having something to look forward to helps a lot.
Yeah. I don't want to call it like a distraction or anything like
Yeah.
that, but I mean, it's just something to look forward to that you don't have to worry about all the other things.
Chris bonds hard over movies. Chris
hard?
bonds hard over movies. You
Hard
bond.
over
You bond
hard
over movies big time.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, like the turkey
God.
movie.
What?
This is very
I
intellectual.
don't know if I want to know about this.
Gobble gobble,
Oh my
motherfucker.
God, Randy.
Oh, you definitely want to know about this.
You need to put the bottle down and
It's
you
the
know,
greatest
get a little
movie of
brain
all
cells
time.
back in your brain and talk about something.
I don't think those get repaired.
Stop.
Just kill
Nah,
it.
they don't get repaired. I'm a healthcare major. I can tell you these things. They don't get
I
repaired.
think you slurred
That'd
a
be
little
okay.
bit.
Maybe.
I'm
So,
in.
I know all the things that I'm not supposed to do.
All right, so I think I think
this
we're in a
is
good
why
spot
lessons
to
are
go ahead and
learned.
wrap this up for the first episode. So I know we got a little off track at some points, but there's going to be a lot of information coming at us for the next few episodes, and from here on out, really, we've got stockpile of topics, and we've experienced a lot as a whole, and it's going to be, we'll talk about our mistakes. We mentioned a few today, but we'll talk about the struggles we went through. We'll get in depth with it, and you'll really see who we are as people. And it's about kind of being an open book. And a lot of people are afraid to talk about their experiences or even their feelings, like anything they're ashamed of. But we're going to do that on this podcast, and it's all to help those who are listening and maybe are going through the same stuff. So we talked about all our life lessons, the biggest ones we've learned so far. This way we can, down the road, we'll retouch this topic and see if anything has changed and what we learned from that. That's the whole point of this podcast, just growing as a person. So with that, I'll go ahead and give it to Jared for a outro.
All right, guys, this has been Lessons Learned. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and go follow our other social media pages linked in the description. From all of us here at Lessons Learned, have a good day and see ya!